Hello dear viewers and welcome to Havsal Times. Hurricane Erin, which developed in the Atlantic Ocean in August 2025, was an extraordinary storm that made meteorological history. Initially a Category 2 hurricane, it strengthened to Category 5 in just one night. Such rapid strengthening has always been of interest to meteorological science, but the picture presented by Erin is described as extraordinary, because it was not only the increase in wind speed, but also the atmospheric conditions, sea surface temperatures, and the structure of the storm that made this process unique. Today, we will look at Erin's story, which is not only a meteorological phenomenon, but also a powerful warning about how climate change could affect the dynamics of today's hurricanes. The rapid strengthening of hurricanes is known in the literature as rapid intensification. This concept is defined as the maximum wind speed of a tropical cyclone increasing by 35 miles or about 56 kilometers in 24 hours. However, Hurricane Erin went far beyond this limit. A speed increase of 85 miles, more than 136 kilometers, was recorded overnight. Thus, the hurricane rose directly from Category 1 to Category 5. Such a huge change in such a short time is rarely seen. In explaining the reasons for this strengthening, meteorologists point to several key factors: unusually high temperatures at the ocean surface, low wind shear, and a compact structure at the center of the storm. These three factors combine to energize the hurricane at an almost explosive rate. Erin's progress was really striking. For example, the hurricane was a Category 1 hurricane at midday, but by the next morning it was a Category 5 hurricane with wind speed in excess of 260 kilometers. This meant an extraordinary risk not only for the Caribbean, but for the entire Atlantic basin. Because when a hurricane strengthens at such a speed, there is almost no time for people in coastal areas to prepare. As a matter of fact, heavy rainfall, flooding, and landslides have emerged on the Caribbean islands. Warnings were issued for Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, the Leeward Islands, and Turks and Caicos. Luckily, Erin did not directly hit any major landmass, but even does not diminish the potential danger it could pose. The hurricane was not limited to the Caribbean. Its effects were also felt along the east coast of the United States. People were warned of large waves, coastal erosion, and dangerous rip currents, especially in coastal areas from North Carolina to the mid-Atlantic region. This situation, which took place during the peak of the holiday season, led to serious safety measures on the beaches. However, as the hurricane headed north, its effects crossed the Atlantic and reached Europe. While heavy rains and winds were expected in the UK and Ireland, the effects of the storm were felt especially in Western Isles of Scotland and the Irish coast. Thus, Erin turned into a system that affected daily life, not only in tropics but also in Europe. From a scientific point of view, Erin was one of the rare hurricanes to reach Category 5 in the early season. Normally, most storms reaching this level are observed in the middle of the season when the oceans are at their warmest. However, Erin reached this strength at an earlier stage. This is leading researchers to look more closely at the effects of climate change on the dynamics of hurricanes. In particular, rising sea surface temperatures can provide hurricanes with the energy they need much more easily. In other words, the oceans are turning into a kind of fuel depot. This raises concerns that such sudden and destructive strengthening could become more frequent in the future. The story of Hurricane Erin is an important lesson not only for meteorologists, but for the whole world. Because such storms are no longer just a problem for certain tropical regions, but are becoming events with global impacts. A hurricane that starts in the Atlantic can reach the shores of Europe within days. This requires global preparation and cooperation. Moreover, the strength of the hurricane overnight demonstrated once again how critical early warning systems are. Even a difference of just a few hours is crucial for people to protect their lives. As a result, Hurricane Erin was one of the most dramatic demonstrations of the power of nature. Its rise from Category 1 to Category 5 in just one night was a historic record. It caused heavy rainfall in the Caribbean, coastal hazards on the east coast of the United States, and severe weather in Europe. For scientists, Erin raised new questions about climate change and the future of hurricanes. For communities, the storm was a reminder of how vital preparedness, resilience, and rapid response are. Hurricane Erin was not just a hurricane, but a powerful warning about the future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing below. And as always, it was Hefsal Times.